growth slowing, deflation deepening, and the yen surging, well, the time has surely come for policymakers to deliver on their promises and act. I'm joined now by Bloomberg columnist Linzie Pesek. So, Willie, you say that Japan is the economy that cried wolf. So explain that for us.
Yes, I mean, every 2 to 3 years we go through this period where policymakers, they promise very big and bold reforms. They promise to spend more to boost the economy. They promise to take steps to keep the yen from rising. They promise to take steps to stop deflation. And every time they try, the efforts are underwhelming to markets, and ultimately they don't work. And I think in many ways Japan has a credibility problem. Japan now is threatening to intervene in markets to stop the yen from rising. Traders don't care. The yen is still edging higher because people are testing the resolve of Japan. I think in many ways, because this government has said over and over again over the years, this time take us seriously, only to disappoint markets. And so it is the economy that cried wolf.
Crisis mode, huh, Willie? Well, Ozawa is saying that he's prepared to intervene in currency markets. You said that traders don't care about that. Isn't that because it doesn't work?
Well, yes. I mean, one of the big problems is that, with Japan doing it alone, it isn't enough. You have to have the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank involved. You really need the G3 or certainly the G7 involved, and that's not happening. In many ways, you can look at events in the U.S., events in Europe, and you can say the dollar and the euro should be weaker. And economies in the U.S. and Europe, they're welcoming a weaker currency right now because it's good for exporters. Only Japan is upset. And so in many ways, Japan can intervene. It may do so. It's not going to work, and I think Prime Minister Khan is smart enough to realize that.
So, Willie, you say that Japan's been crying wolf for a very long time. They should have sorted out these problems a long time ago, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, I think the focus on the yen, the focus on the currency is a distraction. Japan needs to essentially reform the structure of its economy. It needs to tweak tax policy. It needs to increase productivity. It needs to become more competitive. It needs to plan for an aging population. It's not doing any of that. It's focusing on the yen. It's all, yen, yen, yen. So in many ways, Japan is focusing on the symptoms of the problem, not the underlying sickness. And I've been in Japan for, about 8 years now. And very little has changed in terms of the government's, if you will, remedies for what ails the economy.
Now, Willie, tell us, what do you think? September 14th, this leadership challenge, Ozawa versus Khan. What's it going to be?
Well, I mean, no one knows at this point. I mean, in many ways, when you look at what voters want, it should be Prime Minister Khan. However, Mr. Ozawa is a very, very dynamic figure. Very, very skilled at winning elections, so you can't count him out. If the people had their choice, it will be Khan. But if the party chooses, it could very well be Ozawa. And that's one of the problems. I mean, we're focusing on a period of uncertainty. We don't really know who will be running the Japanese economy 12 days from now. So Prime Minister Khan can say all he wants. The issue is, can he stay in power?
All right. Thank you very much, Linzie Pesek, there for us. Well.